Hello everyone, welcome back to Codeforce Chronicles. In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most important topics in Salesforce Admin and Salesforce Development, that is Salesforce Flow. If you are a beginner preparing for a Salesforce Admin interview or looking for a replacement for workflow rules and process builder, this video is for you. We are not just going to understand the definition of flow. I will explain what flow is, why we use flow, the different types of flow, important flow elements, and finally, we will create a real time flow step by step. So let's get started. What is Salesforce Flow? First, let's understand what Salesforce Flow actually means. Salesforce Flow is a low code automation tool that allows us to automate business processes inside Salesforce. For example, imagine that whenever a new account is created, the business wants Salesforce to automatically create a follow up task for the account owner. Instead of asking a user to manually create that task every time, we can automate the process using Flow. That's the power of Salesforce Flow. Flow can help us create records, update records, retrieve records, make decisions, send notifications, and perform many other business actions. So remember this simple definition. Flow is Salesforce's powerful tool for automating business processes with little or no code. Why do we need Flow? Now, you may have a question. Why do we actually need Flow? Let's say a company has 500 sales representatives. Every time an opportunity reaches a particular stage, the sales representative has to perform several manual activities. Imagine doing that manually for hundreds or thousands of records. It's time consuming and can lead to human errors. With Flow, we can define the business rule once and allow Salesforce to perform the repetitive work automatically. For example, when an opportunity reaches closed one, Salesforce can automatically create a follow up task, update a related account, send a notification, create another record, update fields. This improves efficiency and reduces manual work. Types of Salesforce flow. Now let's talk about the different types of flow. The first important type is record triggered flow. This flow runs when a record is created, updated, or deleted, depending on the configuration. For example, whenever a new opportunity is created, automatically create a task. The second type is screen flow. Screen flow interacts with the user. It can display screens and collect information from the user. For example, we can create a guided process where an employee enters customer information through a series of screens. The third type is scheduled triggered flow. This flow runs based on a schedule. For example, every morning, Salesforce can identify accounts that require follow up and perform an automated action. And another important type is Autolaunched Flow. The flow runs without displaying a screen to the user and can be invoked from another automation or supported entry point. Flow Builder. Now let's open Salesforce and understand where we can actually create a flow. Go to Setup, quick find Flows. Click on Flows. Here you can create and manage your flows. Click New Flow. You will see different flow options. This is where we choose the type of automation that matches our business requirement. And this is very important. Do not start by choosing a flow type randomly. First, understand the business requirement. and then decide which flow is appropriate. Real-time scenario. Now let's take a real business requirement. Imagine I'm working for a company that wants this automation. Whenever an opportunity is created with an amount greater than 1 lakh, automatically create a follow-up task for the opportunity owner. Let's build this together. First, we need to identify our object. The object is opportunity. A trigger is when when the opportunity is created, our condition is amount greater than 1 lakh and our action is create a task. So our requirement can be represented like this. Opportunity created, then check amount greater than 1 lakh, then yes, and then create task. Create the flow. Now let's create it. Click new flow, select record triggered flow, click next for the object, select opportunity. Now we need to tell Salesforce when this flow should run. Select the record created is created. Now let's configure our condition. Field amount operator greater than value 1 lakh. This means a flow will continue only when the opportunity amount is greater than 1 lakh. Now we can save our flow and create records. Next, we need to create a task. So we add the create records element. We are going to create one task. Let's provide the task information. Subject, follow up, high volume, high value opportunity. Then we need to identify the person who should receive the task. We can use the opportunity owner. We can also relate the task back to the opportunity. Now our flow has the complete business logic. Opportunity created, amount greater than 1 lakh, create follow-up task. Save, debug, and activate. Before activating a flow, we should always test it. This is extremely important in a real Salesforce project. We can use the debug functionality to test different scenarios. For example, what happens when the opportunity amount is 50,000? The flow should not create the task. What happens when the amount is 1,50,000? The flow should create the task. Once we are satisfied with the results, we can save and activate the flow. And that's it. We have successfully automated our business requirement. Before save versus after save. Now let's discuss one of the most important Salesforce interviews questions. What is the difference between before save flow and after save? A before save flow is useful when we need to update fields on the record that triggered the flow. For example, if the account type is customer, automatically populate another field on the same account. An after save flow is used when we need to perform actions after the record has been saved. For example, create a related task, update another record, send a notification. So remember, before save primarily updates the triggering record. After save, perform additional actions, especially involving related records or post save operation. Important flow elements. Before we finish, let's quickly understand some important flow elements. Get records, used to retrieve records from Salesforce. Create records, used to create new records. Update records, used to update existing records. Delete records, used to delete records. Decision, used when we need conditional logic. For example, if amount is greater than 1 lakh, follow path A. Otherwise, follow path B. Assignment, used to assign values to variables or resources. These elements are the building blocks of many Salesforce flows. Interview questions. Now let's quickly go through some interview questions. Question 1. What is Salesforce Flow? Flow is a low-code Salesforce automation tool used to automate business processes. Question 2. What is a record triggered flow? A flow that runs automatically when a record meets its configured triggered condition. Question 3. What is a screen flow? A flow that interacts with users through screens and collects information. Question 4. What is the difference between before save and after save flow? Before save flow is primarily used to update the triggering record, while after save flow can perform additional post save actions such as creating or updating related records. Question 5. Can Flow replace Apex? Flow can handle many automation requirements, but it does not replace Apex for every use case. Complex logic, advanced processing, and certain integrations may still require code. So today we learned what is Salesforce Flow, what Salesforce Flow is, why we use Salesforce Flow, different types of flow, how Flow Builder works, how to create a record triggered flow, how to use create records, the difference between before save and after save flow, and some important flow interview questions. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and please like the video, subscribe to Codeforce Chronicles, and share it with someone preparing for a Salesforce career. In the next video, we will take another real world Salesforce requirement and build the solution step by step. Thank you for watching Codeforce Chronicles. I'll see you in the next video.